Awesome. Thank you, Tote. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so we can start with the first tutorial. Great. So, like Tote showed you guys earlier, we're gonna be creating a matte poster from the ShineOn catalog, and we're gonna be using this design, which we will import from Canva directly to the Customly app. So, let's head over to Canva first. So as we can see, we have the background. We have this Merry Christmas clip art. We have a placeholder for where we're going to be placing our crossword. And we have this text, which we will make personalizable on Customly. So once we have our design opened on Canva, we can go over to the Customly app. And here we can create a new design. Once we open up the Design Studio, we can click on Import from Canva. Here I'm gonna name Crossword, create design, and clicking here on Import from Canva, we'll see all the designs that are linked up to my personal Canva account, and I can click on the crossword design that we already have set up. Here, we will ask if you want to import all of the layers and what type of element you'd like to import those layers as. So these are all correct. The dynamic image is basically a clip art function and the text function. So that is great. I'm gonna click on import. And as you can see, this also sets up the design dimensions from Canva. So you can directly just create on Canva whatever design you want with the design dimensions for the product that you're designing for, and it automatically imports everything. Awesome. So as you guys can see, we have the background, which I'm going to lock since we won't be editing. The Merry Christmas clip art, I'm going to be doing the same. We have the crossword, which we'll be deleting and replacing for the customly crossword function. And we have the customizable text. So for the text, I'm going to rename my layer and add your name. I'm going to click on all caps so that it can always maintain the uppercase. And I'm going to be setting up a prefix and a suffix so that your shoppers only have to enter their last name. Instead of having to enter the Pearsons family, they'll only enter Pearsons in this case. So let me show you guys how that works. So here is a text box that is similar. It's like a sample, so you guys can imagine what the shopper's experience will be like. And for the prefix, we will put the and family. So as you guys can see, if I change up to whatever last name, it'll automatically insert the and family before and after the text. So another thing I want to do here is I want to add a minimum size that's a tad smaller than the one that we have set up now, just in case someone has a super long last name, just so we can make sure that everything fits correctly in the text box. Awesome. So once we have our name text box already set up, I'm going to lock it and let's create our crossword. So crossword is pretty straightforward. It's a feature that we have here as a separate element. I'm going to delete this one. And you basically just resize it to whatever size you'd like. I'm going to make sure that it's centered to the middle of the page. And how this works is basically your shoppers enter as many words as they want here on the text field, which is going to be the same as the storefront. And they'll have a generate crossword button, which will automatically link up all the words and create a gorgeous Crossword. The settings that you have on Crosswords are basically the style. This is the default style, but I like to use the rounded oak one. I think it's the more cozy, warm crossword style that we have. So once we have that set up, our design is basically ready. We can click on Save Design. And once we have our design ready, as you can see, it is super simple to set up. We can go ahead and publish our map posters. So we'll head over to our start page once again and click on Create New Product. Here we can select the ShineOn catalog and we can search for poster. There you go. I'm going to be clicking on the map poster in this proportion. I'll select the 2 size variants and I'm going to be adding a design to the print area. Here I can choose from the designs that we just set up, or we can choose from the Customly Design library, which is what Lucy's going to show you guys once I'm done setting this up. So I'm going to pick from my designs and choose the crossword. Apply design. And right now what I have to do is basically make sure that the design that I just created fits perfectly within the print area of each of these variants. So I'm going to resize this a little bit. Next variant. And there you go. Great. Now I'm going to click on Next. And here you can always select if you have multiple e-commerce stores set up to your Customly account. Here's where you select where you want to be publishing that product. So today we're going to be publishing on the Shopify account. But if you guys are interested in Etsy, we have tons of tutorials and we can create one specifically for Etsy and ShineOn. So right now, what Customly is basically doing is setting up the ShineOn integration for this specific product, which is the map poster, and blending that with everything that we set up on our design. So the customization on the text, the prefix, the suffix, the background, everything that we imported from Canva, it's basically integrating everything so that it works perfectly on your storefront. So right now we're loading a preview of what the personalization experience would be like on storefront. So you have a chance to edit and to create your thumbnail image. Awesome. So here we have the name and the crossword. So right now I'm going to be editing the options so I can change this label for the crossword. I'm going to click on Edit Options, Crossword 6, and I'm going to put crossword. And you can always add a help text. So here we want to add, make shoppers know that you can enter different words and that by pressing the button, they'll be able to generate it. So type in your words to generate a crossword puzzle. And here we're going to save. And now it'll load with the new label and the help text. So here I'm going to put a sample last name, and here I can put holiday, Christmas, fun, family, Smith, and we can create our sample crossword. See how fast that was? And it always ends up so cute. Okay, now we're going to save this as our thumbnail. And once we have that thumbnail saved, we can start generating our mockups. So we can scroll down a little bit and click on Generate Mockups. We're going to use a Christmas theme, and we're going to ask for the poster to be, the poster should be framed in a white wooden frame placed on a wall. So for this AI mockup feature, it's still in beta mode, and most of the time it works perfectly, but sometimes you have to tweak the prompt a little bit so it fully understands what you want the product to look like. So for this example, it turned out gorgeous, honestly. But you can also, if you want the frame to be wooden, if you want, it to be more zoomed in, you could just type it in the prompt here and it'll generate it for you. So here I'm going to save this product image. I'm pretty happy with it. And now that I have everything set up, I can publish my product. And once I click on publish, this should open up my storefront with the personalizable product that I just created, and we can test out how everything is working on the store live. So as you guys can see, it was a super simple tutorial to create this product. Once you have your design in Canva, it's really just about adapting everything to the personalizable features, and that's about it. Awesome. So that's working correctly. Fun, family, holidays, Smith, create crossword. Yeah, and that's about it. We can see our mockup that we created works well. And that's about it for this part of the tutorial. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I think we can go ahead with Lucy for the more simpler process.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Tina. All right, so let's go ahead and enable the screen share here. Perfect. Can you guys see my screen all right?
Yes,
Perfect.
Okay, great. So the design that we're going to see right now is one of Customly Designs, as Tina was mentioning. In this case, we have a similar type of customization where we allow the shoppers to enter the family's last name. So for example, something like this. We can also edit a few fields where if we want to have with a different background color, a different color for the text, we can also modify that. Same thing for the title. And then generating that crossword puzzle. So how can we generate this type of customization using Customly Designs? Well, even simpler than what Tina was showing us. We're going to jump into the backend of Customly and go to create a new product from ShineOn. In this case, let's choose poster, but we're going to use one of the high gloss ones. So let's go ahead and pick our product. We can always choose our variants and then add our design. Now, here is where the route is a little bit different. We're not going to pick from your designs. We're going to pick from Customly Designs. So we'll go ahead and go to the category crossword puzzle. Here we can see pre-made designs using this functionality, which, as Toad was mentioning, we can always modify them. So if we want to keep something, but I don't know, change the background or change the title, we can always import them and change them. But for now, we're going to use it as it comes. There we go. We will make sure that we can adjust this a little bit to the printing area. So it's a little bit fuller on the print. There we go. Perfect. All right. We'll choose our store here. And what this will do is, as Tina mentioned, combining the information from ShineOn's parameters and the design from Customly. Now, the designs that we're seeing here are something that we can implement not only on the posters, but also on the metal prints, on canvases. So, well, actually any product that has a similar type of ratio. So it's something that we can use for a lot of different products. In this case, we're seeing ShineOn's posters, but there's no limit as to where you can place these designs on. And And now we're going to see that little preview to see how the interaction would be for the shopper. So same thing as we were seeing on that initial reference, we have the ability of entering the name, choosing from different background color options, and then entering those names. There we go. So we can create that sample. There we go, perfect. And then, as we did before, we're going to save this as our thumbnail image so that it stores some reference for us to create additional mockups. And the other thing that I want to do, as Tina did before, is making sure that I edit my options so that the crossword puzzle has a little bit of a help text. So words to create your own crossword puzzle. There we go. Perfect. And another thing that we can do if we want to is, before we go ahead and publish anything, editing our product details so that we can name this. So for example, there's no family like mine poster. And then we can also assign the price for this. So basically we can refer to the ShineOn listing and generate the upcharge for this so that when we create our product, in this case, we'll go ahead and assign price. So let's make it there we go. And what we're going to do is go ahead and generate some additional mockups so that when we publish our product, it has some more product photos. So let's go ahead and choose one of our prompts here. Let's click on generate. As Tina was mentioning, this is a feature that we may need to tweak that prompt to make sure that that image that is coming out is exactly as we want it to be. But of course, since this is a feature that is included within Customly, there's no limit. So we can try it out and test it out and make sure that we have the image come out as we want it to be. So let's go ahead and save that image. And then when we go ahead and publish, this will show us the listing on the Shopify store with all the changes, all the customization features. And as you see, it's very simple. We just needed to apply one of Customly's pre-made designs, and we already have all the customization features for the shopper to interact with.